And welcome to part 2 of our group tank build. This is the German Panzer tank, Tamiya. And first up, I need to say that I've had a bit of a problem. I've actually already recorded this, and it was only 5 minutes of recording, but I left it recording and didn't realize, and I came back 2.5 hours later. It was still recording, and then when I tried to convert the file into an MP4 to play and to edit, it failed and I lost that footage. So what I will do is just show you. I was going through, let me just put some lights on, very unorganized at the moment. There we go. So what I was up to was doing the tracks and putting the tracks on, and they were to go on these templates, and it's quite easy. They go on there, you just do them in the correct order, touch them with some thin glue, and they'll be fine. And you'll see that at this, where this section of the video ends, is where we begin and we see these tracks complete. Okay, and now I don't know if I've mentioned it already, but I've painted the little wheels here, which are, what do they call those? These are the rollers. These are the return rollers. So they're undercoated and they're ready to get the dark grey that I'm going to put on it. And then of course I'm going to use, I don't know if I may have already said this, I don't know if I'm repeating myself, but I will go ahead and use the hairspray technique for chipping later on before the base coat goes over the top. Okay, but I'm sure I will talk about that later in the video. All right, so I'll be back now, and well, we'll come back in a second. We'll have a look at the tracks and continue from there. Okay, all right, back shortly. Okay, back again, and we've got the tracks done, both sets sitting on the template. No problem at all. You know, the most fiddly part of this was just trimming up all the little bits of excess sprue after cutting them off. Other than that, yeah, piece of cake. So there's one there. You can see the shape that it's conformed to. So these need to be painted now. So I've got the XF84, which is dark iron, which is what the instructions told me to use. So it's just fortunate that I had that in stock. Before that goes on though, I'll be undercoating them, putting a primer coat, and yeah, I think they come up really well. So I think I'll go and do that now actually, and when I've done that, that'll complete that all of step 7 there, and we'll go over and we'll be able to, I'll get these painted, then we'll come back and have a look at what step 8's got in store for us. Oh, before I go, you remember that little green spot I put on the peg here, which is the liquid mask, which I'll be using on these. So let's just see. I haven't tried this yet. I just want to see how it comes off. So I'll get that up close so you can see. Okay, so the idea is, oh, look at that. That just comes off beautifully and doesn't leave anything behind. It's like latex. All right, I'm pretty confident that's going to work fine, because when I remove that, what will be left underneath will be the desert tan of the tank, in the center of here, and the rest of it will be the black rubber. All right, very happy that'll work. Yep. All right, I'll get these painted up. We'll come back and have a look at the next step in the instructions. Okay, so I've got those parts painted. The tracks are painted, undercoated and drying. And I also took the muffler and undercoated as well. I figured, well, might as well. I got paint in the airbrush, so I've undercoated the muffler as well. So I'll leave them to dry. And like I said, we're going to go and look at step 8 now. And I did have a quick look before you, but let's have another one. So, okay, so we've got 3 sections in step 8. We've got A, B, and C. And the first part is the drive sprockets. And we have to make 2 of those. And they come with a little poly cap, which I guess they turn then, if it's got a poly cap on there. I didn't realise that these all these turn. I'm not sure, but anyway, there's a poly cap goes in there, and that, because it doesn't say anything about paint, will mean that it's all going to be the colour of the tank. So we don't have to worry about anything else, any painting of that. Now, after we've done 2 of those, we move on to the idler wheels. And they look quite simple. It's just 2 of them that need to be made. They just connect straight together like that. So that should be fine. And again, they'll be the tan as well. I know I say tan, I say light brown, I say desert color. The actual name of the tank color is the Tamiya light brown. Okay, it's XF93, which is on its way. So step C is the roller wheels. Sorry, road wheels. Okay, and there's only 16 of them to make. Great. Okay, and these also need to be coloured, painted XF85, which is our, here it is here, that's our black rubber. So it looks like there's a center hub goes in the center of there as well. Yeah, now it says attach parts in numbered order 1 and 2. So I guess those 2 get attached first, and then this will get attached to the back. We'll have a look before I get to them. I'll make these ones up first. These we'll just have a look at how we're going to put them together in relation to the painting sequence, because this has to be painted somehow. All right, so I'll go cut these off the sprue. They can't be too hard to find. We've got sprue A. Let me grab sprue A. Okay, so there's sprue A, and we want number 21 and 18. Well, there's number 18. And there's 21. Okay, so it's those 2 there. And they look nicely detailed too. Yeah, all right, so I'll just take those off. We're making 2 sets, so there'll be another set of them on the other sprue here. And sure enough, there they are. I'll nip them off, clean them up, and I'll grab these poly caps as well. I'm guessing they would be in the other box somewhere. I'll find them. All right, back in a second. Okay, so I've cleaned those pieces up and they're ready to go. I found the poly caps, little plastic bag with 2 in there. Just open that up. One of them. So there's little locating points inside, and there's a little notch in there. So when you put these together, that's it. They lock like that. You can't get it wrong. So it's quite simple. The thing to remember with this here is you put this poly cap goes in the center. Just making sure it's in a position like that. And then we put this on like that, I guess. And is that gonna... No, that's holding in position, right? So that's fine. The thing is, you don't want to get glue onto the polycap. So what I'll do is I'll just touch some glue around here, and yeah, that'll joint perfectly. So we'll grab some of this then. Really do just touch it. Just seep into all the corners and bits. There we go. It's in. Just hold that for a second. So these are drive sprockets. So I guess these are must be pretty strong. These are the ones that drag the tracks around. So imagine they'd be quite strong. Okay, so that's on, I think. Yep, that one's on. Do the same with this. There. Pop it in there. Perfect. Okay. Good. Lid's back on. And bin. I try to clean up as I go, but if you could see outside the view of the camera here, it's an absolute mess. But there you go. It's an organized mess. So I do know where everything is, you know. So I like to have things within reach, but sometimes there's things within reach that I know I'm not going to need, so I don't know why they're there. So, although there are times when you, sooner or later, you're going to need them. So, like, I reach over and grab these, but I've already used them once in the build. I may not use them again, but they're still out, still there. Okay, so they're done. Very good. I'll put them, what will I do? Will I create a new box for them? No, they can go here. We'll put them in there. And now we'll get on to A6 and A9, which is two of them. Saw them before. There they are, A6 and A9. Get them off. Right. And I just wanted, well, somebody just decided to start hammering on the wall in their apartment just as I'm doing my YouTube channel. Good timing, in case you wondered what that sound was. I might take a break for half hour, come back, but I'll get these off and tidied up and we'll see how it's going. Back in a sec. Okay, so it seems to have gone quiet again, so hopefully there'll be no more knocking on the walls. So I've trimmed them up and tidied them up, sanded them, got all the nubs off. There's no seam lines or anything like that, so don't have to worry about that. There's a little location tab there to go in there to show you exactly where the position's going to be, which is pretty much like that. What I'll do is I'll just hold it with the tweezers like this, and then we'll just tap a bit extra thin as usual inside there. A bit in there. Should be fine. There you go. Give it a few minutes, seconds, doesn't take long. go. It's that one. Get this one now. So what were these? These were the idler wheels. Okay. Yes. Touch that. There. Good. All good. Okay. Then of course we've got the 16. They won't take long to whip up. Sure. Okay, I think that's good enough. There they are. Good. All right, I'll put them in the box with the others for now. And I don't know whether I'd probably paint these separately rather than on the tank, because I want to get up under there as well, and it might be a bit difficult getting that surface that's not facing outwards. But we'll look into that later. Same with these ones. Probably be easier to get the paint on if they're off the tank. I'll put that aside. Now let's have a look here. So, road wheels, 16. So we're going to get the parts off, which are all on the A sprue. At least you're not pulling out all different sprues and everything sort of arranged together. So we've got A4 is these ones, those ones. So we've got 4, 8, there'll be 8 on the other sprue. A15 is these ones. Looking all right. And then we've got the little caps in the center, A17, are these tiny pieces here. Those. Okay. Well, I suppose I might as well start taking those off. I have to take them off and get them all cleaned up. I'll put them all in a little cup like that, and we'll come back and have a look when they're done. In the meantime, I'll just go and grab our bits that I undercoated, which should be dry by now, and we'll see how they've come up, the primer on them. Okay, we'll just grab them and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so here's our tracks. As I said, they're all primed up. And here's our muffler for the exhaust, also primed up. Now this I could probably completely like weather it, everything before it gets put on. I'm going to have to look at what sort of what it's going to look like. I need to source some actual photos of this tank, because I haven't really looked at what this tank really does look like, and if possible the African one that I'm doing, because then I get an idea of, you know, what condition they're in. I mean, obviously if it's been in Alamein in Egypt, which is where this is from, that we're doing the build, I know for a fact, because I've actually been to Alamein when I was in Egypt, and there's definitely no water there, there's no mud, it's just sand and dry. So that would have an effect on how things are going to look, obviously. Whether there would be rust, I really don't think there would be rust. There would be chipping. I'm sure there'd be chipping, particularly this being mounted on the back of the tank there. I mean, it's probably been sandblasted in sandstorms, but yeah, so I mean, I've never done anything like this before. So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned of how I'm going to go about that. But anyway, in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll just put this in its container for later, because we can come back to that at any time and work on it. They'll go back to the container. But the tracks to be painted in dark iron, easy. I can do that. I've got our paint. We can do that any time. I will wait for a little bit longer, make sure this primer is actually dried properly. I only sprayed it about an hour ago. And but anyway, that's how that's looking. But anyway, I'll get on to the road wheels. I'll get all them off, cut off the sprue and cleaned up, and we'll progress from there, okay? I'll be back in a second. Hey, welcome back everyone. So it's been a day since I last recorded, and what I've been doing was all of these wheels here, and there were 16 of them, road wheels. Just been trimming them all up, cleaning them all up, getting little nubs off, sanding them, making sure they're all smooth and perfect as they are now. So done. That's good. Now, the other thing that's happened is I got some mail today, and today I got Mr. Finishing Surfacer 1500 black. So I haven't used that before, but this is mainly going to be used for the primer coat on the figures, I'm imagining. Yeah, but we'll get to that. I also got the base color for our tank. So we've got the light brown XF93. There it is. So that's going to look good. And also I've been thinking about the weathering process. And what I found out that is, now, even though I was going to undercoat this all in grey primer, like I did these tracks here, so they're all in grey primer, I found out that these German tanks were actually German grey, was the original colour, and the ones that were shipped to North Africa were painted over the top in the brown. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to do this undercoat with the primer, that's fine, but then I'm going to use a darker grey, and I had one here somewhere, there it is there. So I don't actually have German grey, but I do have this dark grey XF24. So I'm going to spray everything that's the base colour brown. I'm going to spray it all first with this. And then what I'm going to do, which I've never done before, is I bought some hairspray, and I'm going to use this to help with the chipping. So what I'll do, and I've been given a tip by my mate Jason, who's working on his tank, to spray this into one of these little cups here, and then use the airbrush to spray it on the tank. Gives me a bit more control. So I'll be doing that. That'll go over the dark grey, and then on top of this is where the base coat will go. So then I can come along later with a small brush and some water and start doing the chipping. Anyway, that's the plan. So I will probably try and, well, I will practice this on something, whether I use one of these jigs here that was for the tracks, or I've got plastic spoons. I'll give them a spray with the dark grey. Is that the one? Yeah, with the dark grey, and then spray it with a bit of this. Just give it a test and see how it works before I actually do it on the tank itself. All right, so where I'm at now is, so I need to put all these together, but the tricky thing with these is that they have to be painted the rubber black, which will be on the outside of the wheels. But the center here with the other little center cap, which will sit right in the center there, so that's going to sit in there, that will have to be the brown, this color. So I was thinking, well, how am I going to mask that if this is black and do that properly? And then I thought of, there we go, blue tack. Roll up little balls of blue tack, position them over the top like that. There it is. And there you go. There you go. Problem solved. So what I would do is spray these, the tan in there first, put the blue tack over the top, and then spray the rest rubber. Now, one advantage, make sure I get that off there. Now, the one thing about this is that I only need to do one side, because the other side, which would be the back of this one here, and that will go, oh, hang on, I've got that side. Get them mixed up. I only go one way, so I can't make a mistake. So this one, the back of that one there, will be up against the tank. You won't see that, so I won't have to go to the trouble of doing that tan on the inside of there, just on this side here. Once that's on there, I'll just spray them black and we'll have our tyres done. Okay, I think that'll work. All right, so I better get on to this. Yeah, I'm going to glue all these wheels together now, and that will complete step 8. And then paint them, I guess. I guess I'll paint them with our tan color. Let that dry, and we'll put these on. So when I come back next, hopefully, or we will, I'll have them painted with the tan, the brown, all right, the light brown. That'll be dried, and we'll have little bits of blue tack covering the area that of the tan that we don't want to get the black on. We'll have a look at them all then, and then it's just a matter of spraying on the rubber black. All right, okay, that's it, because after that they're all going on, which we can't do because we need to spray all this. So we need to skip ahead and check if there's anything else we can put on here before we actually spray the hull. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here, so I'll get on to this. And I would like to just say thank you to everybody who commented in the last video. I got some fantastic comments there. People have built similar tanks, give me plenty of advice, posting me links and photographs of their builds. Amazing stuff, just incredible. Lots of good tips, things like using a Sharpie for touching up the rubber black, just ways of going about painting it. Really good. I see there's a lot of tank enthusiasts out there and wishing me well for this one, so I'm looking forward to reading more comments. So please comment below if you got any tips and stuff. But just remember though, this is my first tank, and it's not going to be a night shift or Panzermeister work of art. Far from it. But however it turns out, it'll be a learning thing, and I'll certainly definitely, probably not going to be my last one, that's for sure. I'm really enjoying this. So yeah. All right, I'll get on to this, stop talking, and we'll come back and have a look where we're up to. Cheers. Oh, and I have a habit of saying here, I'll be right back, and then showing it done, whereas here we want to show you me actually doing things. So as you can see here, this is how I do it. I take one, get a little bit of this in, touch it in there like that. hold it, count to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Rinse and repeat. That's it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Okay. The rest, well, I don't need to show you. Back shortly. Okay, hello everyone, I'm back again. I've got all those parts undercoated and drying at the moment. And I'm just having a quick skip ahead at what I've got to do. And here we are with all the wheels going in step 9 being placed on there. But let me just straighten the camera, it's better. But I won't be doing that. That'll have to be done much later, after the hull's been sprayed and after they've all been completely painted up as well. So, because over the next page here, we're looking at all the other tracks that got to go on those wheels and over the rollers and everything. So there's the upper runs that we made separately. That's one side, and then there's the other side. That's these here. And then all these individual pieces have to go on. Now, all those pieces are going to have to be painted up separately as before I attach them all on here. Okay, so pretty much all the rest of the tank, at least the hull section, needs to be ready before I put all this on, because I can't paint. So what I'm thinking is, while I'm working on all of these and getting all the tracks all sorted out and painted up and everything, there's no reason why I can't move on to step 11 and start there, because we've got, with step 11, there's a couple little frames that go on the inside here, and then this piece here, which I took off earlier just to check because I was concerned about the gap there, which is okay. So this piece is going to go on there, like that. So that can be glued on, they can be glued on. That can be all part of the spraying as all this is one piece. Because after that step, we move on to the upper hull. And this upper hull supports the turret, and it's completely built up before it's placed on top of here. So that means that once I glue these on here, this is ready to paint. Now I would go through and just check to see if there's anything else I might want to put on there that's going to be that color, but it's not really, because the whole top's going to be covered by this upper hull, other than this section here. So all you're going to see is around the sides here, which everything's already been placed on, of course, except the muffler, which we'll be doing separately. So what I'll do now is I'm going to do step 7, I think. I think that's safe to glue that piece on and get that on now. Then move on to the upper hull and start piecing all this together, because even though this all goes on top of here, it can be sprayed separately. So I can spray that and spray this all separately. I think that's the best way to do it. There's a lot of accessories that go on the upper hull. If you go over, there's mud guards, front fenders, there's rear fenders, there's a lot of bits and pieces, more of the frame, more of the armor plates that have to go on. But again, all that can be complete to this stage here in step 18, where you basically, that's at the point where it all gets dropped down onto the hull here. So at that point there, I would be painting that, the tan, the light brown that this will be, and all prepped with the undercoat and the hairspray coat over the black, or the dark over the dark grey, I hope I'm not confusing things. I'm not confusing myself. I don't want to be confusing how I'm explaining things, because we have an undercoat going on of grey. We have a dark grey going over the top of that. Then we're having a coat of hairspray on top of that. And then we're having our brown base coat. So that it's all painted up, ready, and the chipping will be part of the weathering at the end when it's all put together. There you go. That's the plan. Going further into it is pretty much putting on extra plates. Looks like here we got a number of, what are they, attaching engine hatch, access hatches. So there'll probably be a few things that can also go on top of this hull, upper hull, before it's attached. So even though it's said to attach it in the previous step, these pieces are going on now. There's, what's that? Engine access hatches again. These look like vents at the back. Those two will go over the front. So those two, for example, pieces there, I'm not sure what they are. Doesn't tell me. They actually go on top of here, which again will be painted the deck tan. So that's something that I could also put on before I paint this. Lots of other things. Things like spare track, well, that'll go separately because that'll be painted separately. We got all the clamps and stuff for our, there's a iron there, there's probably a spade on there, there's some tools that go on there. So all that can be all painted separately and put on afterwards, no problem. And of course the tow rope there. There seems to be still more. I don't know what else there could be. Oh, of course we got to put the guns got to go on there as well. Yeah, it just goes on and on. There's the axe going on the front fenders. More hull parts for the upper hull. See, again, this could be put on before this upper hull's sprayed. More hatches down here. And then at the end, we do the actual gun on top of the turret. Oh no, actually, there's the gun, then there's the turret. So we've got the turret as well to be all put together. Now, I know a lot of people just build these tanks completely and just spray the whole thing and then go over it and then touch everything up while it's all on the thing. That is an option. But yeah, I want to do it in the sections. I think that's going to work out a bit easier for me. All right. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'll glue these bits on for a start. And every now and then we'll go back and see how the tracks are going and how the other bits are going that I'm putting on. For example, all the wheels. See, these wheels are all going to be taking a bit of time getting them all prepared. I don't have to weather them now, but I've get them up to the final base coat, and that's fine. The actual weathering and all that will all be done on the tank when it's completely built. Okay. Right. Okay. Back shortly. Because I don't think you need to see me gluing this on. It's pretty common sense, and I'll whip those two pieces off the sprue and put them in there. Okay. Back in a sec. Okay. Hello. Back again. So, like I said, I've glued those hatches on. Nothing special about that. They went on fine. And like I said, we're going to have a look at where I'm at with the wheels. I'll just move that aside. I've just noticed I need to get a bigger container. It's not... Oh, yeah, I guess it just fits in there. Yeah, that's okay. So the wheels, here they are. Probably can't see them too well on the camera, but there we go. So what you're looking at there is... focused for me. Let me try another light. That one, brighten things a bit. That helps. There we go. So that has the Mr. Surfacer primer undercoat on it. then that dried, and then I painted with a dark grey, which is what that is. Now the next step will be the hairspray. So I'm just do a fine mist of hairspray across it. And then when that dries, I can put the base coat on. Now the base coat, the tan, only needs to cover that center hub. So I'll just give that a quick spray on that top surface. When that's dry, I'll put my little piece of blue tack over there to protect that centerpiece so that it stays tan. And then I'll hit these tires with the rubber color, which is the XF85 rubber black. All right, so that's pretty much the process for those. Excuse me, and it will be the same for these ones, which are the other ones that we did earlier. So just showing you on the instructions. So these ones are these wheels, these are the rollers, and that will be the same thing. That's still just in a primer, but I'll get them painted. So it's fiddly, it's time consuming, but in the end I basically want the final coats on these with the hairspray underneath for the chipping. That's all we got to get in the end. All right, so now we will move on to, where am I? Yes, so that bit's done there now. And it's the turret. Exciting. Now I'm thinking about getting some paint on here, start spraying the hull. I need to go through the instructions and make sure everything's on there that I need to put on there, which I think it is. Anything else to go on there is pretty much just these wheels and rollers, and that's it, which will already be painted. And then of course the turret all goes down as one piece on the top. So other than those hatches going on there, there's nothing else. There's tools, there's extra track that goes on here in places, but again, all those items will all be done separately anyway, placed on there separately. That's the plan. All right, so I will just go double check everything through here to see if everything on that hull is there, and then I'm looking at doing a prime coat on that, which will be the same way I've primed everything else. I won't need to paint the inside because that will not be seen at all. I will check on that, but I'm fairly sure that that can't be seen in there. And yeah, looking forward to painting that up. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so back again, and here we are with all the parts for the upper hull, all cut off the sprue. I haven't trimmed all the tabs off them yet. But there's one thing you got to note here is there's a couple of holes need to be drilled in this one, which is part B5. And you'll see that there's little marks on the inside there, 2 holes. Now, if you're building like I am, the North African one, then it's a 1.2 mil hole is just that one there. Whereas if you're building the Russian front version, you need both drilled out. So just pay attention on the instructions, you get that right. You'll see there we've got the 2. So one's A and B, and that one's for B. So we only want to drill out number A, which is quite simple. Just make sure I have got it correct. So that's the way it's going to be. That's where we want the hole. That's it there. We've got our 1.2 mil drill bit. I just simply put that in here. And drill that one out. I really do need some new, sorry, I'm doing it off camera. I I really do need some new drill bits. They're not very sharp, you know. There we go, it's in. They're just those cheap packs you buy on eBay. I showed them to you before, the micro box. You know, they're okay, but there is some really good ones I saw on ickysticky.com. They're tungsten drill bits. You can buy certain drill bits, or you can buy the full set, which comes with a new one of these, and this one's getting a bit tatty too. So, yeah, I will definitely be putting an order in the next day or two for those drill bits. They'd be very handy to have, some decent ones. Okay, let's make sure that's nice and tidy. There we go, there's our hole. All right. So there's also an order to glue these in as well. So here we're looking at it from underneath, and that will be the top. So the idea is to glue them in order. So they're all numbered. So B2 will be the first one to go in. Like I said, I haven't trimmed these up yet, but let's have a quick look at B2, which looks like that one there. It'll go that way, and it'll sit. There's slots for it, I've just noticed there. So there you go. That's going to go there. Number 2, the second piece is B5. So that's the one we just drilled the hole out in, and that will run along there. And again, there's little slots, so you can't go wrong. Now, looking good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just trim up all of these, get them all neat and tidy, and we'll come back and have a look at putting them all on. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, pieces are trimmed up, and I sort of started without you and started gluing some of these on. Pretty simple in the order. First one, second one. This one's now going to go over here, and it should go in there like that. Let me just double check on that one. Yep. Again, there's location points here that you can't go wrong, really. That goes in like that. One thing to be careful of when you're trimming these up, I trimmed off the connection points where the sprue, shaking the camera, where the sprue joins. This one here also has little straps, it looks like, or maybe it's metal, I don't know, but that does overhang at the end just a fraction there, and you want to be careful. You can feel them there and you think, oh, that's bits of the sprue, but it's not. You want to leave those little bits on there. But very nice little bits of detail on these. Great. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. Just join them into there. It's going to go that way. 2. Get that in there. Make sure it is up the right way around. There it is. Yes, it is. Ah, there it is there. You feel that. You hear that confident little click into place, and you know that's where it's going. So again, I'm just running the extra thin along here just to join it. Just hold it firmly in place. Make sure it's all sitting in there neat, which it is. And that's where I want that one to go. A little bit difficult with the camera inches off my face, but there we go. Let's get this on. Just go like that. Hold that there for a moment. There it is. good. Beautiful. Hold that for a few seconds. And that should do it. Yep. Nice along the edge there. Beautiful fit. So that was the third piece. And the fourth piece will be the piece that runs across here, which is this one here. And it's going to go pretty much that way, I would say. Yeah. And already that's going to be beautiful. Perfect fits in the corner there. It's all sitting flush. There we go. Alright, we'll just run some more of this along. Just a little up there. I see a lot of people using, they really pour this stuff on, eh? And I don't think it's necessary, because it really does. A tiny bit just wicks along the edges and gets underneath and into the corners. I don't know, I don't splash it on. I mean, let me know in the comments what you think. But it's really all you need to do is look at that there, it's on. Perfect. I mean, I could run some down the, see, I didn't put any down that side. Yeah, but I know that I don't need to, because putting it down under here, you know it's getting underneath. So anyway, that's on, and we've got one more piece to go, which should be number 5, and that's going to go on the end here someplace. Yep. Which is interesting. I wonder how that's going to sit on there. Oh, there's that camera again. All right. So I'm thinking it's gonna go that way. Oh, look at that. It's like the last piece in the jigsaw puzzle. Hey? Beautiful. Look how that, look how flush that is. All right, so all I need to do for this one is just run the glue extra thin straight along there. Boom, like that. I'll do a little bit up the sides, in there, and in there. Hold it, a little pressure there. I think that's about it. Count to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's done. All right. Top back on. I think that's all there is to step 12. Just having a quick look here. All our sides. Yep, all there, so I can tick off. Number 12 is done. That's the upper hull, at least that part of the upper hull. All right. So step 13, it looks like we're putting on a gun. Yes, there's a machine gun going on here. And it's saying not to glue this part. So it looks like we'll be able to move the machine gun around. The other thing will be to check about painting. Because again, I don't want to fit. Hopefully I can put maybe these two pieces on and leave that on. If that can be put on later, that would be good, because that needs to be painted separately. Obviously it's got here X10, which is X10 is gunmetal. No problem, we've got that. Obvious, yeah, that's what it's going to be. Another bit here, I'm not too sure what that's about. C72 attaches shown. But where's it attaching? C72. Interesting. Oh, there's some more parts of it there. C71, C72. Basically, they're just showing that you need to trim up bits of sprue and anything that's on there, get it off, make sure it's all trimmed off. C76. Anyway, we'll get the parts off and have a look anyway. I'm just going to quickly jump the page and have a look at number 14. Yeah, that's separate. That's going on to putting on the mud guards. Okay, I see. You can see where these machine guns are going to go in the front there. And there's a little vent over here. Alright, well, I'll get the pieces off the sprue and we'll come back and test fit them and make sure they're going on properly. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've got these pieces off. I haven't cleaned them up yet, but I was just looking at them. So this piece, which is like the armor shroud, which sits on the outside, it's going to sit over that hole there where the gun protrudes through. The piece in there, you don't glue, and it will swivel in there, so you'll be able to actually move the gun. So that's a nice little trick. The other advantage I see here is that the gun itself, pick it up, very tiny, it has a little tapered end on the end that goes in there, and it pokes into the hole, and that will stay in there like that. So the good thing about that is that I can glue all of that on except for the gun, which needs to be done in the gunmetal, and put that on later. So just by attaching it in there. So this can be glued on the outside with that little ball part sitting in there, and it's all good to go. I will just have to remember when I do paint it to put maybe like a toothpick in there, in that hole, just make sure it's clear, and to just make sure that the paint doesn't stop it rotating, or at least have it in position that the gun is exactly where I want it to be pointing. So that's good, and then this I'll just put in a safe place when it's all painted up, and then be able to put on the tank right at the very end, which will probably be the similar thing for the tools and a few other bits and pieces that'll go on the outside of the tank. As for this piece, that's just a vent cover, just an armor plated cover, I guess, and the instructions show how that just sits in pretty much just like that. I haven't trimmed this up, but yeah, that'll go in there. All right. So I'll glue these on now, and we'll call that the end of the video. Yeah, I look forward to you coming into the next video, which will be part 3, where we'll continue on with it as we're going. There's a lot of things happening at once at the moment. The next thing for this area here of the, what was it, the armor hull, the upper hull, we'll be putting the front fenders on, and pretty much everything that can go on this hull will go on here before it needs to be painted. We can paint it afterwards, so that's all right, but I'm going to finish this off now. So when we come back, we'll progress with some more. Thank you very much. Please, if you've got comments, comment below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Important to hit that notifications bell so you get notified each time these videos come out, which are pretty random at the moment. I just put some bits together, film it, and put the video up. And give us a thumbs up if you like the video, and thank you for all the comments I have been getting. And this is proving quite popular, this tank build. And I wish my partners in crime, Jason and Simon, all the best with their build. They're going to need it. We'll see. It's interesting to see how three people, all three amateurs when it comes to building a tank, go about putting things together to get a similar result, although we don't know what the end result will be yet, do we? At least I know I've confirmed I've got second place, so I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.